Hi guys, my name is Ted with Legacy Brown Leather. I've been a little bit busier this week, so I'd like to share how I like to burnish my edges on my leather goods. Firstly, we need to answer why we burnish our leather goods, and also what is it for those who don't know. Burnishing is essentially polishing. We are polishing the edge to a bright shine for a clean and professional look that's going to bring longevity to the project for years to come. Now in this video, I'd like to share how I like to burnish my edges. This is not the way to burnish your leather goods, just the way I found I get really good results. There are other crafters out there who are light years beyond what I'm able to achieve, and if they have any sort of wisdom they want to give me, I am all ears. For this process, you're going to need sandpaper, an edge beveler, a burnishing tool, some sort of edge dressing, a piece of canvas, some beeswax, and a lighter. And when you're starting out, you're going to need some flat edges that meet the top or bottom of the leather. To achieve that, I use a skiving knife to skive down any sort of imperfections on that side, so when it comes time to burnishing, there aren't any uneven surfaces. Once I've skived down the edge, I like to go in with a rotary Dremel tool that has a 220 grit attachment, so I can just kind of get that rough and going before I start sanding. And then after that, I like to use a beveler to start rounding the edge of the leather. I've done that here already, so we're gonna get right into the actual sanding and burnishing. After I've done the first bit of sanding with the Dremel, I will then go in with sandpaper by hand to get a more detailed feel for rounding the edge. I usually start with 220 grit, then 400 grit, then 800 grit, and then finish with 1000 grit. This produces a soft and evenly rounded edge where there aren't any large bits of leather hanging off when it comes time to burnish. After the sanding is done, I will dye the edge of the leather if the project calls for it. Here I'm using a water-stained black dye and applying it with a wool dauber. Once that has dried, I will begin burnishing. I like to start with water initially and will begin burnishing using Cocobolo wood burnishing Dremel attachments. After the first burnish of water, I will then use water again, followed by a layer of Tokonole clear edge dressing. I find that this works better for me than gum tragacanth. Then I will apply another layer of Tokonole and burnish by hand using a piece of canvas. This provides a fantastic shine. You could stop here, but I like to add wax to waterproof the edges. I first like to start with beeswax by adding a quick layer. Sometimes I will melt the beeswax before applying it to the edge. However, this often yields to too much wax and flings it all over my project when burnishing. Once the beeswax is applied, I will then melt it to help the burnishing process. Then with time permitting, or if the project calls for it, I'll use paraffin wax and do the same process of application and melting before burnishing. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or even suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. And please like and subscribe this video and pass the torch. See you guys next week.